Hi everyone, it's Gwen from Hummingbird Tarot, and today I'm doing another video in my series of RWS verses, and today we're looking at the Druid Craft deck. And I'm comparing this against the Universal Weight, and I do have two versions of this deck, and I actually recommend that you get the one that's in the deck and the book set if you can. It's a little bit more expensive, but the book that comes with the Druid Craft deck, I highly recommend. It's got a lot of great information in there that can help expand your tarot practice. So this is what the deck originally looks like. A lot of people who get this deck trim it down because it's so big compared to a standard tarot deck. You can see how big that is. And the trimmed down version, I took off all of the outside. Some people just trim the white part off. I tried that and I kind of butchered the deck, and there's another video I'll link down below that I recorded repairing my bad deck modification that I made. But I went ahead and took off all of the borders so that I could make, because I found even when I took off the white part, the deck was still too big for me to shuffle easily. And so now that I've cut off the outside edges, you can see here that it's very close to the size of a standard tarot deck. And if I'd taken off just a hair more, it would have been the exact same size as a standard tarot deck. So what I like to do in this series is I like to flip through a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and the one that I'm using today is the Universal Weight Tarot deck, and I will compare that against the Druid Craft deck that we're looking at today, just to go through and see how the images are the same, how they're different, and we go from there. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell so you're notified every week when I upload a new video. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much for coming back and seeing me again. I appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to stop by. Okay, so one of the things I like to look at is also the cardstock. This is the standard US Games cardstock, and it's very similar. This is my trimmed deck that I also edged the colors here in the same color brown as what's on here. You'll find that the Druid Craft deck is a little thicker than the US Games systems, but it's still, it works okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna flip one by one through these cards. And I haven't done this in a really long time, so I was kind of excited to get back to this deck. This is one of my favorite decks. I also am very attached to the standard Rider-Waite-Smith images, but you can see a lot of the similarities here. You can understand why this is on the cover of the deck. It's such a beautiful card. It has all the same elements that you see in the standard Rider-Waite-Smith card. I love this. And you'll notice on all my cards I do put clothes on. I'm the naked people when I'm doing readings for others. I have a younger crowd that sometimes watches my videos, so I like to keep them available for them to do that. I love that they've got more women in that. Love that. And this deck, of course, is by Will Worthington, and I love his artwork. I have several of his decks. He's definitely a favorite of mine. This is one of the cards that has some hardcore male nudity in it. This deck does have male and female nudity head to toe. So that can be a little off-putting for some people. I find that sometimes when I'm doing readings for others and they're not expecting it, it's a little jarring. So I like to only use decks that don't have nudity in them. or I also, decks that are really violent, as some of them are. I don't usually use those when I'm doing readings for others either. Death card. I love the extra elements in this. Temperance. The Devil. The Tower. The artwork is just beautiful. Will Worthington. Spectacular artist. The art in his decks are just so beautiful that any one of these cards I'd feel comfortable framing and putting up on the wall. I love this one. This really reminds me of Excalibur. And also the idea of a crossroads. That's kind of always what I imagine when I see this here, but this really defines that clearly. You'll see most of these images, if you know a Rider-Waite-Smith version of the deck, that you'll have no problems reading from this deck. I just have to say, the women in this deck, the Druid Craft deck, just seem so much stronger and sturdier, and like she just seems so frail in this. And I love how much stronger and sturdier the women look in this deck. I love this. This is one of my favorite Ace of Pentacles cards too. It's beautiful. And I love this one. Definitely the miser holding his money under lock and key with a very tight grip. You see the dog chasing the rabbit over there. Nice extra element that it adds to that. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next time around.